Hey!
Hey, welcome.
We're here.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Well, we did do a late summer episode, so at least we didn't totally leave it hanging since the end of last year. But first episode of the fall semester. Season, what do you think we're on? 5 now, I guess?
Well,
Or 6?
it'd be 5 or 6.
5 or 6, something like that. So, yeah, this is the premiere episode.
There we go.
What will happen? Will we resolve those cliffhangers? No, because there weren't any.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's, we should tell you later in the show, we've got a interesting movie. I got to say, this one, folks, has got a little extra something to it. I mean, yeah, you've seen some wacky movies, but this one's called The Wild Women of Wongo.
Very titillating.
Titillating, yeah. And then we've also got a movie that my friend Gary and I are going to review. It's currently in theaters, although honestly it didn't do very well, so by the time this airs, it might already be out of the theaters. It's only been out like a week or two, but it's called The Counselor. But it is worth checking out if you can handle a sort of challenging, not quite Hollywood movie. But first, let's kind of address what's going on in the culture right now. And this time of the year, I'm always sort of excited about by now, usually the excitement has waned for the fall TV season. Although, for me, one thing I'd say this year is that there's 2 or 3 solid shows that I'm like, oh, okay, I could actually go on watching these things. Have you found any new shows to watch, or is it just pretty much the old?
I've seen a few episodes of I think it's on ABC, the sitcom comedy, The Goldbergs.
Oh,
Have you seen any of that? It's kind of like set in the 80s, so that's, as a child of the 80s, that's fun. They're big old VCRs and stuff. It has, the guy who was in, who was in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I think it's George Segal, maybe, but...
Yeah, so he played Larry's agent in that show.
No, that's the other guy. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah,
I should have looked this up.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know that guy.
Anyway, he's pretty good in it. And then the girl she used to be in Reno 911, one of the female deputies, is the wife. So.
Right. When I said that thing about George Segal, he's like the grandfather or something like that. And then I got actually my favorite. I watched the pilot and I think part of an episode since then, but I really like the one kid who's into he's a white kid who's into rap or whatever, and he has these really exaggerated kind of looks, and whenever he talks to his mom, he's just sort of just wants her to just go away, that kind of thing. Yeah, if you're into the whole family sitcom thing, I think that one's got something going on.
Yeah, we'll see if it even makes it. I don't know if they've renewed it or not.
That's the thing, yeah. It's like
Patton Oswalt also is the narrator. He's like it's set around the littlest kid in the family, and he narrates as an adult, as kind of like the Wonder Years kind of thing.
Right, I guess, he videotapes everything. He's the one that sort of is the storyteller or whatever.
So it was a couple funny scenes I saw, like the one the kid was trying to model off an 80s movie where John Cusack holds up the boombox to the girl's window, and he goes and does it, and of course the whole thing goes wrong. The dad and the son, the girl's brother, are sticking their heads out the window, and the sprinkler system goes off, and so that was a funny scene. But that one, to me, I'll keep watching as long as it's on there for a while.
It's good.
Because I like the cast, and again, the 80s thing to me is kind of the draw, just to see kind of the pop culture references they throw out there that I remember as a kid.
Exactly, yeah. That's I like when in the pilot when the little kid comes up to his mom and says, do I have to wear, I think he's wearing his sister's jeans, or these, they look like, I think he's just getting hand-me-down from his sister. He's like, do I have to wear her jeans? It makes me look like Brooke Shields. And she goes, and she's beautiful. So, one of my new shows to look out for that I've been watching is The Blacklist on NBC. It's formulaic in the sense that and the premise is that this guy who's like a master criminal who used to be part of the military or something, I think a naval kind of official or something like that, he turns himself in, and he agrees to, or he says, the whole reason I've turned myself in is that I'm going to help you catch all the really nasty criminals you don't even know about who are out there. And he only wants to speak to Elizabeth Keene, which I always thought he should just every once in a while go, so Elizabeth, because they have this whole Hannibal Lecter thing going on. But that's pretty, James Spader kind of holds that show together, good acting there. And then been watching Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is...
Jeff Garlin.
Jeff Garlin. Got it. I was thinking of it too in the back of my brain somewhere, so I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, he was the Curb Your Enthusiasm guy who's the father, and apparently doesn't wear pants.
I haven't been listening to anything. I've just been trying to...
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I hear you. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., watchable. I will say it's one of those shows that feels like it's not really vital television programming.
Yeah, I saw the first 2. I've got a few others on my DVR, so... I don't know, because obviously I was a fan of the comics and a fan of the movies, but that show so far just isn't doing much for me though.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, it just over the years there's been so many shows where you're like, I'm kind of watching the X-Files again. It's like, here's the freak of the week that they've got to try to track down. Although in this case, the freak is always just a human being or something who's manifesting powers, and you have to sort of go, okay, what do we do with this? One guy that actually he called himself Scorch, or somebody gave him that code name Scorch, the fire guy. Yeah. And they're like, at least they made a joke about it the whole time. Oh my God, they gave him a name, that kind of thing, But there's just something lacking. I hope they kind of pick it up, but I'd say it's at least in the watchable category. And maybe I don't know if there's a third show.
What do you think? Have you been watching Walking Dead at all? The new season?
Yeah, I finally I had to watch like the entire season 3 in like one weekend, but I'm finally totally caught up, and now I'm watching the season 4 episodes, and I'm okay with it.
I'm getting a little sick of the prison. Yeah. And maybe they're building up to them getting out of there. And I know this week, finally, at the end of the episode, 4 of them ventured out to try to get some supplies, and hopefully because I kind of like when they go different places and see what is going on. And they ran into like hundreds and hundreds of walkers on the road, and they all had to ditch the car and run because they were going to get consumed by them. So, and they're bringing in the whole sickness, illness, virus thing, which
swine flu, bird flu.
Yeah, right. It's something like that. So that adds a different element to it, that now they have something else to worry about besides just the Walking Dead.
I've never heard of a super flu though that like kills you in one day. That's really quick, man.
Yeah, that's so maybe. I wonder how they'll resolve that, and. Maybe they're using it as a device just to kill off all these people they brought in at the end from the Woodbury town that you didn't really know. Now, and again, this isn't really a spoiler alert if you keep up with the show, but before the season started, on the radio they were saying that 2 big characters are going to get killed off like the first episode. No one's big has died yet. So have they? Am I missing something? Now, Glenn has the flu now, so he might be going, but no one's gotten killed off.
Did you say 2 big characters were going to kill in the first few episodes or the first episode?
On the radio, they said like the first 1 or 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
That's the exact, because I'm thinking.
We're on like 3 or 4 now,
right? Yeah, nothing's happened, so.
I certainly didn't consider so-and-so's girlfriend.
Right, yeah.
That reminds me of something funny. Like, it's funny how you talk about spoil. And by the way, I'm sorry, folks. Once the show airs, if we start talking about it, we're going to mention current events.
You spoiled 5 episodes in. I was saving it all to the end.
Once the thing airs, and and certainly like if a few days have passed or whatever, as it has, a week's going to have passed by the time this airs. There's no such thing. Just chill on that. But one day in class, I just say something like, I don't even know how this came up, but I said, oh, I mean, like, I go, this show is kind of dark, It's like, oh, sorry, your father's dead. Now you got to kill him before he becomes a zombie. And people are like, shut up, shut up. I'm like, it's not some dude you even know. You've never even met him before, and who cares about his stupid daughters? You don't know them either. So, that's, I got to say, there's something, I think I read something where they felt like, okay, the first 2 seasons were moving a little too slow, maybe the second season was too slow, so they hired this new showrunner, and that's one of the sort of behind-the-scenes stories. Like, every new season, they've had a new person in charge of the show, a showrunner. It's only that this season, apparently, they've got a guy who was sort of the assistant showrunner, who is in charge now, and they've already renewed him for next season. They're like, we're not going through that whole new showrunner stuff again. But the season 3 guy really tried to amp up the action a lot of it. Like that was his whole thing.
And that was good.
And I would have kept that guy, but apparently he had some.
I loved it, man.
They were telling him to kind of tone it down or not to have as much action, so he just quit as showrunner. And now they got a guy who, once again, he's got to really build those characters. And I like the character stuff, but you got to really have.
I mean, all the going to Woodbury, fighting with the machine guns, and the governor. He's going to make his. Obviously, he's not dead. He'll be back.
He's got to be the guy.
He better be.
He's got to be the guy who's feeding rats.
And there's something now. I guess they did reveal, again, spoiler alert, that it was Carol. Did you watch it this week?
I only saw like half the episode.
That's cool.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she's the one who killed those 2 people. that
Oh,
had
okay.
the flu and dragged him out
Oh,
and
okay.
burned him.
Yeah.
She admitted to doing it
Okay.
to Rick. So we've solved that mystery. But yeah, who the hell is feeding them rats through the fence? That I still would like to know. So I doubt that's Carol, is it? I mean, she.
That would be weird because
Yeah.
it seems like it would just have to be somebody who wants to like really leave the prison bad, and they want to create such a problem that everybody just. And I mean, you think you could just go off on your own if you want to do that, but maybe she wants to stay with the group or something. Now I figured that had to be the governor, and I guess at first I was thinking that's why it's not even really. I mean, at first I was thinking maybe it was the governor who tried, but then I thought, well, no, it's like they kind of established the part that I watched that somebody here did it, kind of thing.
Because he's not in the prison now, right? I mean, he's.
No,
so,
yeah, but I don't know. I was thinking maybe he sneaks back in or something.
Yeah.
Who knows what he's.
Because anyone could get in there, I guess.
Either way, he's kooky as hell because
Yeah.
you're just like, dude, you barely even survived. You got like 2 guys maybe left helping you.
Right.
You want more from these people? You know, okay, you'll get your little revenge. I guess he's so crazy with grief because somebody killed his daughter.
Yeah, who's already
Spoiler
dead
alert.
anyway.
Don't you kill my dead daughter?
Yeah, I'm keeping my zombie daughter in a closet. How
Not
dare
with-
you kill her?
Not without my dead daughter. It's a
Right.
lifetime special. It's Sally Fields. That zombie
Yeah.
Sally Fields. Have you ever seen a thing online where they had like Bambi zombie mother,
No.
and then they call it. What do they do? They spell it Bambi with like the way a zombie was. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, oh no, zombie Zombi. That's
Oh,
what they did.
zombie,
Like,
nice.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like Bambi's mom comes out of the grave, and you know that kind of. So yeah, I think there's a lot, and I guess did you want to give any final? Do we do a benediction for the Cardinals or lay them to rest for this season? It's just,
God,
it's a shame.
I mean, yeah, it is. You know, they made it that far. I'll try to be positive. They made it there. They won 2 games there. With all the rookies and some of the black holes in the lineup they had all season. That obviously came back to bite them with these guys at the bottom of the order not hitting anything.
Right.
It's great they made it there. They got a lot of good young players, and hopefully they'll be back next year. I mean, honestly, that's not a stretch if they can make some good moves in the offseason.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I would say, I'm sick and tired of every time the Cardinals make it deep into the playoffs, like people feel the need to like come up with songs. Can we stop doing that? You know, have you heard it?
I haven't heard it now.
Well, for one, there was one. This one was, I guess, decent. Although the Lord song, you know, have you heard that?
No.
The 16-year-old girl, where like she kind of makes fun of rap, you know, like.
Oh, really? Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Right, yeah.
So they did a Cardinals version of that where like the girl singing it was pretty good and was not as good as Lord, but pretty good. So that one was okay. But you always get these just like cheesy raps.
Yeah,
Like, yo, Cardinals. And, yo.
With my rally squirrel.
Yeah.
With my rally squirrel.
John Jay will go deep. Holiday. I don't know. I'm making all that up. But what I just said
6
there
is a serious number.
Yeah.